Okay, so now on to day 6. Breakfast starts with almonds, apricots and coconut cream with a cup of tea, and I added that because it doesn't have much of a caloric value to it at all. I think it stands for about 3 calories. The breakfast meal includes 43 grams of protein, 63 grams of carbs and 99 grams of fat. The fats, being an efficient source, will help with the session of swimming laps at 10 o'clock in the morning. The breakfast includes vitamins A, B, C, E and K and minerals, calcium, phosphorus, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc, sodium and selenium. The breakfast meal equating to 1,642 calories, which will be good for the expenditure of energy throughout the day. Looking at phosphorus in particular with this meal, the phosphorus is helpful for the release of energy from food, so this will help massively with the release of energy from the 1,642 calories in this meal. After swimming laps, my athlete will consume a protein shake, which will be good for the recovery after the swimming. And then an hour after that, they'll consume a 130 gram pot of pumpkin seeds, which is high in carbohydrates. And it also contains vitamin B, potassium, iron, calcium, copper, and magnesium and manganese. This little snack is mainly just to bring the calorific value of the day up to the estimated target. And then after this snack, they'll have a 2-hour vigorous gym session where they'll be given a 330 milliliter bottle of water in each hour. Then for their lunch, a tuna and avocado salad sandwich with another protein shake for recovery after the gym session. High in carbohydrates and also high in fats, which again is a very efficient source of energy, containing vitamins B, C, E and K and minerals iron, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc and selenium, focusing mainly on the calcium, which will be good for the muscle contractions in the second gym session later on in the evening. Then a couple of hours after that, another cup of Brazil nuts of 130 grams, which mainly focusing on the 88 grams of fat that is contained in that, which will be helpful for the second gym session an hour afterwards, which is where the calcium from the lunchtime meal will also come into play at this as well. Then 2 hours after that, with an hour of recovery in between, it will be a flexibility session with another 330 milliliter bottle of water to keep them nice and hydrated, which then bring them to the evening meal, which will be lemony chicken stew with couscous, with a protein value of 415 grams, which will be very beneficial, especially as they've endured in 2 vigorous gym sessions throughout the whole day, equating to 3 hours in the gym. So they'll be very, very fatigued after that, and hopefully the high levels of protein will help recover them with that. 33 grams of carbs and 7 grams of fat, so not very high in fat, but again don't really need it because it's towards the end of the day, so they don't really need much of the energy. And then containing vitamin C. Overall, this day equates to 4,901, which is just under the estimated value, but there's been a couple of days previous where they've been slightly over, so this kind of balances it out, so it's not too bad. On day 7, because they finished quite late on the day before, I gave them an extra hour of Lion. So then I started them with 8 o'clock breakfast of a melon and crunchy bran pot with a banana smoothie, which had 27 grams of proteins, 117 grams of carbs, and 12 grams of fats, including vitamins A, B, and C, and calcium, phosphorus, iron, and potassium. Not too high on the calorific scale of 633, but I still reckon that'll be enough energy to bring them through their 2-hour-long flexibility session from 9 to 11, with a 500 milliliter bottle of water given to them in the first hour to keep them hydrated throughout the entire session, so that should be fine. Then at 11, they'll be given a protein shake to recover from the flexibility session because of the high level of protein within it. Then for their midday meal, it will be liver and broccoli and carrots with orange juice. mainly focusing on the liver because it is very high in zinc, which helps produce new cells and enzymes and processes carbohydrates, fats and proteins in the foods. So that it will be very good for releasing the energy for the 2-hour long session on the cycling machines from 1 to 4 o'clock. Looking back on that, I should probably have given them some kind of fluid during that session, because I really don't want my athlete to get dehydrated within that, because that would be very, very bad. But then at 3 o'clock, they'll have a snack of almonds and apricots and coconut cream with a protein shake. Looking at the protein shake, it's mainly to help with recovery from the session, because it would have been a very enduring session of 2-hour long cycling. And then also the meal is looking at the fats in particular, very, very high in fats, which would be good for the gym session at 4 o'clock. So the almonds, apricots and coconut cream and the protein shake altogether contains vitamins A, B, C, E and K, and minerals of calcium, phosphorus, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc, sodium and selenium. Mainly focusing on the calcium again and the phosphorus. So the calcium is good for the muscle contractions, which will be good for the gym session, and the phosphorus helps with the release of energy from food, and also the potassium in it also helps the heart muscles work properly. So whilst working in a gym session where there will be a lot of strain put on the heart, hopefully the potassium within the 3 o'clock meal will help them through that. So then at 4, the gym session will happen with a 500 milliliter bottle of water to aid them through with hydration. And at 5, a 130 gram pot of pumpkin seeds, mainly to bring the calorific total up to the estimated 5,000. And then at 4, the last session of the day will be an hour-long swimming session of just swimming laps for, which will be good for the respiratory system, so helping my athlete breathe better. Because if they can control their breathing, then that will help them during their sport. And then then there will be an hour's resting period, and then finally they will have salmon fillet, potatoes and broccoli for dinner, with a blueberry smoothie. So again, the very high count in protein will help with recovering from today's sessions, and the very high number of carbs because of the potatoes. Not so high reading of fats, which is okay, because as I said before, they don't need it because it's towards the end of the day. And vitamins C, B and K, and minerals of magnesium, sodium, selenium, calcium, phosphorus and potassium. This meal equates to 1,485 calories, and in total the day consists of 4,920 calories. And again, I'm happy with this, because there were some days at the start of the diet plan that were slightly over the 5,000 estimated value. So with a couple of days being just under, hopefully this balances it out to help them maintain their body weight. So now we can move on to a review of the first week. So there was a good amount of exercise each day to make sure that my athlete doesn't get so obviously maintains their level of health, and gets in a lot of exercise and practice each day. They're drinking a lot of coconut milk, which is very good because it's high in unsaturated fats, which is a healthy form of fats. However, it is also very, very high in the amount of calories, which is very good because it helps me bring my client's calorific value, my daily calorific value, up to the estimated 5,000, which would be very good for maintaining their weight. The high level of calcium that they've the high intake of calcium, that they've had in the first week is very good, because it is very helpful with building strong bones and regulating muscle contractions. So the stronger the bones, the more impact they'll be able to withstand within their game of rugby. And it is also helps with heartbeat and making sure blood clots don't occur. And also I feel as though I'm very close to the target that I set at the start, so hopefully no weight is gained or lost and that hopefully the weight is maintained. So now we can move on to the second week, starting with day 8, starting off with oats, coconut milk, which consists of 17 grams of proteins, 56 grams of carbs, and 67 grams of fat. Focusing on the fat because it is a very efficient source of energy. Vitamin B, C, minerals, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and zinc. Potassium helps the heart work much more efficiently, which would be good for the gym session, as well as the calcium, which would be good for contractions. The breakfast meal consists of 1,169 calories, which would be very good for the expenditure of energy throughout the entire day. So then from 8 to 10 o'clock, they will be endured in a 2-hour-long vigorous gym session, where each hour they will be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water. After the gym session at 10, they will have 130 gram cup of Brazil nuts. Those contain quite a high level of fat, so again this will be good for the expenditure of energy throughout the day, but the meal was mainly given just to boost the calorific daily total up to the estimated 5,000. Then from 11 till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they will have a 2-hour-long session of swimming laps. Well, in the first hour, they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water to keep them nice and hydrated, and this should withstand them throughout the entire session. At 1 for lunch, a tuna and avocado salad sandwich with a 500 milliliter glass of coconut milk. Again, focusing mainly on the fats and even a little bit on the protein, because it might help them recover from the vigorous gym session, in particular from the morning. But the fats, again, will help them with energy expenditure throughout the day. The lunch meal consists of vitamins B, C, E, and K, and minerals iron, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc, and selenium. The selenium helps the immune system work properly, and also helps to prevent damage to cells and tissue. And the phosphorus in particular, because it is a muscle that helps the release of energy from food. So this lunch meal consists of 1,621 calories, which is quite high, which is good because we want to reach that 5,000. Then 2, they will be endured in a flexibility session for an hour, where afterwards they will have a protein shake, which again is high in proteins to hopefully help their muscles recover from the 2 morning sessions and recent afternoon session. Then again, pumpkin seeds are mainly given just to boost the calorific total up. However, it does also contain calcium, which would be good for the muscle contractions, which would be very beneficial for the 2-hour-long fartlek training session that will occur from 5 to 7 o'clock, where they will be given a 330 milliliter bottle of water in the first hour to keep them nice and hydrated throughout the whole thing. And then lastly, on day 8, they will consume a spicy chicken stew with couscous and a bottle of water. So this is very, very high in protein once more. So this will help with the, especially with the vigorous gym sessions and fartlek training sessions in the evening, because this will have made them very, very fatigued. So hopefully this will help aid muscle recovery. And a relatively high number of carbs, not so high in the fats, containing vitamin C, and not too high in the total calories for that meal, because we don't want to go over the estimated 5,000, because we don't want them to gain any weight. We want them to maintain their current weight. So overall, this meal, this entire day, consists of 5,028 calories, which is just over, but I'm very happy with that because it is very, very close to 5,000 calories, which is our estimate.